country like Finland that has so much water and, well, colder summers for now, I think it will be greatly affected in the future. Those two guys that you are seeing there, the one on the left is Khalifa from Libya and the one on the right is Joseph from Nigeria. And that nerd looking guy, that's me.
We have got no time. It's too much.
And eventually graduation.
You guys seen a kangaroo around? Have you? I'm looking for one.
Hello, terve, ¿cómo está? Namskar. Am I saying the Namskar wrong? I always think I'm saying the Namskar wrong. Hey, first of all, thank you to all of those new subscribers, all of those new dodos. In the last 28 days, 123 new people have subscribed. And that is a lot for a small channel. So thank you and welcome to the new dodos. Because of that, before jumping into today's video's main topic, I will spend around 4 minutes just introducing myself to those that don't know me.
Oh no, what do I say now?
And why I'm doing that? Because many people have said, hey, you don't introduce yourself to anyone, no one knows who you are. So, okay, I will shortly just talk about who I am. So if you already know me, just skip 4 minutes of this video. My name is Diego. I was born in Argentina and I spent most of my adult life in Venezuela. And I was born here. And yes, the last part was in Argentina. You can ski in Argentina. There are mountains. In the south during the winter there is a lot of snow. This is the part where people usually say, what? You have snow in Argentina? What? I can't believe it. Anyway, then I moved to Venezuela where I spent, as I said, most of my adult life, and then I studied my bachelor degree in civil engineering. By the way, that waterfall that you saw is the highest waterfall in the world. It's almost 1 kilometer high and is located in Venezuela.
There it is.
After graduating, I moved because I wanted to study a master's degree. So I moved to England.
This is the barometric studies.
Those two guys that you are seeing there, the one on the left is Khalifa from Libya and the one on the right is Joseph from Nigeria. And that nerd looking guy, that's me. And we were studying a lot. But sometimes we were also... and eventually graduation.
Diego Rafael Ferreira Buvar.
And the story doesn't end there, because after graduation, 1 month after the graduation ceremony, I moved to Australia for 2 years.
You guys seen a kangaroo around? Have you? I'm looking for one. Like kangaroos in Australia.
After those 2 years, I ended up in Finland. And again, thank you for watching and subscribing, and as a thank you, here is a picture of a baby fox. And since 1 year ago, I have been uploading videos to YouTube, running around the forest and sinking myself in freezing water, sisu, and so on and so forth. I think this all started because I was bored during the pandemic start. Today's video is actually a message for the Diego of the future, the Diego that will watch this video in 30 years time, if it happens so that YouTube still exists. A disclaimer, the aim of this video is not to create controversy, because I know people love controversy, especially online, because they can hide behind a screen. I'm not saying that climate change exists or doesn't exist, okay? There are people that believe in science and proved facts, and when those things align with their beliefs, then they accept that climate change has been caused by humans. There are others that don't believe that our CO2 emissions have changed the climate whatsoever. Whatever you choose to believe, I think that even between the two parts, there is already some consensus that climate has been warming up in the last 100 years, and that is backed up by facts. I took this chart from an article in the BBC where you can see different measurements taken by different agencies like NASA and the UK Met Office. All of them measure an increase in the global mean temperature. Nowadays we know better, and we know we shouldn't trust the media blindly, but the data is quite clear. What we see in the news increasingly is something like this.
A new all-time record of 49.5 degrees Celsius, that's just over 121 Fahrenheit.
So why have the temperatures been so high? Well, scientists suspect climate change.
Only going to get worse, with parts of the world becoming uninhabitable.
Continues to batter India. Extreme temperatures across Chennai's 4 main water reservoirs have dried up.
Normally you should see deep snow, and as soon as 10 years' time you could see a whole winter pass with no snow.
I don't think you can run dogs through this at all.
Now, when young people want to build a house, they have no water. When we want to work, there is no water. A young man wants to be a farmer or work in sales, and there's no water. It's already begun. Young men are leaving.
Those around the globe. On the American continent, people are fleeing drought in northern Brazil. In the Caribbean and the southern United States, it's hurricanes. In Africa, people are leaving the arid Sahel region. Some will likely head north to Europe. In Spain, Italy, and Greece, people will also flee the rising heat.
We know that every year at least 25 million people flee. So we fast forward 30 years. So that's why I think if you go to the figure 500 million is not a very high estimate.
In Asia, coastal regions are vanishing under rising oceans. People are fleeing to higher ground in river deltas like Bangladesh. The South Sea Islands will be completely submerged. How many people will have become climate refugees by 2050?
And I could talk here endlessly about the recent weather events that have happened that are out of the ordinary. For example, the floods in London, floods in Germany. If you remember, just before the pandemic, there was the wildfires in Australia. This has been the hottest June in recorded history in Finland. 2 winters ago, it was the first time where Lahti in Finland had to cancel the ski competition because there was no snow. And so on and so on. And why I started to think about this term, climate refugees, is because last summer and this summer too, I know people living in other parts of Europe that have actually visited Finland during the summer because they wanted to have a better weather, colder climate than the summer they were having in their own countries because it was too hot. As you know, many countries accept refugees. There can be political refugees, it can be refugees running around away from war or persecuted for their religious beliefs, many kind of refugees. I think there is 6 or 7, but there are no climate refugees. And I think this term is going to become increasingly important in the following years. A country like Finland that has so much water and, well, colder summers for now, I think it will be greatly affected in the future by climate refugees. I think people, as you saw in that video, will start migrating to the north of Europe, and we might see, you might think it's a joke, but I think in the following decades we will see these climate refugees. And the question is Finland ready for that? Does Finland even has enough resources for those climate refugees? I don't know. It might be that it doesn't have enough resources. We will be only able to tell these things in 30 years time. And when I will see this video in 30 years time, maybe not even 30 years, maybe even earlier, when I will see this video, and when you will also see this video, then we will realize that, look, I remember when we started to talk about climate refugees, and here we are now. So who knows, we have to wait 30 years. We live in a time where technology has allowed regular people like me to document and save everything that is going on in the world, and that didn't exist a few years back. This is kind of like a audio-visual time capsule. So that's one of the big parts of why I make these videos, because I want to remember what was happening in 2021 or in 2020 or so on and so forth. Can you imagine that you will be able to see your grandfather when he was 20 years old, for example, what he was doing, how he looked like? We can't, but that will be really interesting, and that's why I'm doing these things. Not all of the videos I make are like this. This is actually the first video I ever make in this channel where I'm just randomly saying or talking about something I thought. And if you're interested and you want to see more videos, then go and check the channel, subscribe, like, so YouTube will recommend this video, the YouTube algorithm. I didn't actually explain anything, maybe you expected more, but I didn't want to explain anything actually. I just wanted to note that the term climate refugee will be important in the future, and I think we will hear a lot about that. Now I say moi moi, bye bye, thank you for watching.